Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region, built by Von Tobel on the Region Sports Network, streaming worldwide on the internet at Facebook, RSN YouTube, and regionsports.com and IHSAATV.org. We come to you tonight from Maryville, Indiana, on the campus of Andrean High School, as Von Tobel presents the Valparaiso Vikings taking on the Andrean 59ers. Both teams made it to their respective state finals, and Valparaiso hoisted the trophy down in Indianapolis. I'm Matt Sossler. I'll have the play-by-play tonight alongside color analyst Doug Nelson and Rick Novak. Good evening, guys. It's another great weather night for Friday Night Football.
Really is. We had a brutally hot week, but cooled down substantially today, and it's a beautiful night for football, and I'm excited.
Yeah, and we'll see how both teams come off a loss, and the big jump between week 1 and week 2, and we'll see who is moving in the right direction after this evening.
Rick, you mentioned the heat. Let's take a look at the Friday night forecast. It's brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast is in the 70s, sunny, not a cloud in the sky, and that's the game night forecast brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter.
Andrean won the toss, elected to defer. They're lining up to kick here.
On the kickoff for the 59ers is P.J. Cusick. No touchbacks for him so far this year. Averaging about 52 yards per kickoff attempt.
P.J. Cusick will kick it off for the 59ers.
Back for Valparaiso, it's Tyler Verschure and Julian Stokes. And we're underway in Maryville. A sidewinder, no poison call, despite it being on the sideline. They actually ruled that he had a foot out of bounds, so it will be an illegal procedure penalty called right out of the gate.
Looked like a little directional kick. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it looked like they were trying to aim for the corner over there.
Definitely looks like they were trying to go to Verschure over there and keep it away from it. It looked like it was Stokes and Bradney on the other side. Unfortunately, just angled it a little bit too much, and it's going to give Valpo a good field position here to start.
First down and 10, the reigning 5A state champion Valparaiso Vikings will start at the 30.
I think we're going to see a heavy dose of the Valpo ground game tonight. I really do. See if the offensive line can impose their will on the Andrean front four.
Yeah, I believe we'll see Travis Davis and hear his name called quite a bit.
Speaking of, Davis lines up in the backfield. He had 24 rushing attempts last week in a loss against Penn. And they go right to him, goes off tackle. His ankle tackle for a 5-yard gain.
Picks up 5.
It's like Jaden Holmes there. Yeah, Jaden Holmes on a nice little shoestring tackle hanging on.
Yeah, Davis is so big. Once he gets past that first level into the linebackers, he's almost as big as any linebacker he's going to see. So it's really important to try to get him in that first level. But the problem is that Valpo offensive line is so big, they make it hard to do that.
Second down and 5 for the Vikings. Following the 5-yard run by Davis. Clark goes right back. This time it will be a first down. 7-yard gain. Brings up first down for Valparaiso.
You're seeing the Valpo line just blow Andrean 3 or 4 yards off from where they started. So I think if they wanted to, they could do this all evening and see if Andrean's going to make some adjustments with that 3-4 they're running right now, isn't it?
They're going to have to make some adjustments to meet force with force, because right there, the Valpo offensive line, pushed them about 5 yards back before anybody made contact with Davis.
That Valpo O-line has 2 players north of 300 pounds, the center DeAndre Price and the right guard Grant Anderson. So definitely power on that Valpo front. Fresh set of downs for the Vikings, and they go back to Davis.
Davis again on the carry.
And a similar result, a solid gain for the Vikings.
This is just Valpo's MO, right? They don't want to have to throw it if they don't have to. They'll literally run this ball every single offensive possession if they need to and if they can. It's up to Andrean to force them to pass it, really.
Yeah, keep the clock rolling, maintain possession, and you eventually, again, you wear down that Andrean defense.
3 straight runs to open up this ball game for the Valparaiso Vikings. Second down and 6. This time, Davis tries to go right, but is unsuccessful. Angel Torres on the stop. The first positive play for the Andrean defense.
Nice adjustment there by the Andrean defense. They brought some pressure and brought the linebackers up. Kind of sold out a little bit.
I mean, they were in there almost immediately. We haven't really seen them get penetration like that at all. Almost looked like a busted play. They were in there so fast.
Yeah, I was going to say it was like a trap. It was like a trap play that never got there.
Mm-hmm.
3rd down and 8 for the Vikings. They've run it on every single play of this drive. And all signs would typically dictate a pass here, but let's see what they have dialed up.
Well, the Andrean safeties are very close to the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 8. This time, Clark passes. Goes deep down the field, and it is caught by Scotty Bradney into the end zone. Touchdown, Valpo. They strike first.
The Andrean safeties were up almost like they were still thinking a run. You know, somebody, 3rd and long, somebody's got to drop back a little bit and don't let anybody get behind you.
Bradney is one of the faster receivers in the area, and they were up on him in press coverage. And when you do that, you can get beat over the top, especially when your safety is in like that, playing a little bit more of the run. And Valpo, good job by their coaching staff identifying that and hitting him run right over the top.
A straight go route. Bradney's 2nd touchdown on the season. He had one last week against Penn. And now Wilcox is on for the PAT. He was perfect last week, a 3 for 3.
Ooh,
and
blocked.
that one's blocked. So it'll be 6-0. And that's a solid momentum booster for Andrean after that drive.
Well, it's good to get at least some sort of positive after that. You give up a touchdown on 3rd and long where you're thinking you may be able to get them off the field there, and they get a pretty bit back-breaking play, but at least you get something positive. And, we'll see how they can, take this kick back maybe and try to get something going.
We'll step aside. 6-0 in favor of Valparaiso. You are watching Game Night, built by Von Tobel, the only game in town.
Are you a builder, remodeler, or homeowner? If so, you need quality materials at the right price. Whether you're just getting started or a seasoned pro, Von Tobel's friendly and knowledgeable staff can help. And since we're 100% employee-owned, every time you come in, you're dealing with an owner. We have a great selection for kitchen, bath, flooring, decking, and more. Plus, we offer free design consults to help you with your next project. Scan or visit vontobels.com today to book your free consultation. Von Tobel, building better together.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Game Night, built by Von Tobel here at Andrean High School. Valparaiso leads 6-0, and Andrean will start their drive at the 24 after that great tabletop tackle on special teams by Thomas Berta.
Well, we'll see how the Andrean spread offense comes out. And, like last week, they put the ball in the air quite a bit. And we'll see if the Valpo defense can put pressure on the quarterback and allow their secondary to keep guys in front of them.
Matt Sossler alongside Doug Nelson and former Andrean offensive lineman Rick Novak. Scotty Ballantyne is the quarterback for the 59ers.
Making me blush.
Play clock ticking down at 5. Hand off to Bowles, but he runs right into the teeth of that Valparaiso defensive line. Ruben Wall and Parker Gleason up the middle for the Vikings, brings up 2nd and long.
Yeah, the Valpo run defense is historically pretty strong. I think, if Andrean wants to come and run the ball, I think they're going to have to be a little bit more creative than just trying to meet force with force against them, because the Valpo, their coaching staff is very, very good at teaching those guys that the run fits and keeping those guys disciplined.
Ellis Dumas lines up in the backfield. He had 3 attempts for only 8 yards a week ago. 2nd down and 10, but he now motions out. Ballantyne Incomplete. Was looking for Micah Jones, but just too much fire on that pass.
Pass was incomplete.
Yeah, you don't want to be high over the middle. So I mean, as far as incomplete goes, that's the way you will like it. No one's going to pick that off, right? I mean, but Valpo, as you mentioned, usually takes pride in their defense. Coach San Bernardi's a defensive coordinator, does an amazing job, and that's kind of their thumbprint, right? That's what got them down to Indy last year, was their defense, and to give up as many points as they did last week to Penn, 38 points. They're going to come out with trying to make a statement.
3rd down and 10. Valentine under some duress. Thinks about it. Almost just a tad short. Would have been good enough for a first down to Logan Urbaniak, but instead, Andrean's going to have to punt.
Yeah, Valpo brought a twist off the edge there. Their defensive tackle went outside, defensive end went inside. The defensive tackle, Ruben Wall, number 37, got home there, flushed Valentine from the pocket, made him step up and hurry the pass. The
linebacker, Tyveen, I think he got a fingertip on that pass, too. He's very active in the Valpo defense there in the middle.
Cusick will punt it away for the 59ers.
Oh.
Cusick set to punt. Actually, that'll be Valentine back there to punt. Fielded cleanly on the return. And Valparaiso will take over in plus territory. McKenzie on the return, but an offense that was super duper efficient their first time around now gets a short field.
Yeah, it's obviously not what Andrean wanted there. They had a bobbled snap, or not really a bobbled snap, just a bad snap, and rushed the punt. Not really a great punt either, and Valpo's got great field position here.
That's that third phase of the game, the offense, defense, and then the special teams. Those details. That's what keeps coaches up at night, is a blocked extra point and a bad snap on a punt. Those special teams, they get you down to Indy.
Valparaiso starts their second drive inside the plus 45. They go right back to Davis, who goes up the gut. On the finishing effort is Ethan Reyna for Andrean. Davis on that last drive had 4 carries for 20 yards. He's been the bulk in terms of volume of plays for Valparaiso.
I mean, he's their workhorse and he's their guy. They're going to feed him until you can stop him. And really, he's one of those guys that as the game goes on and he wears on a defense, he just gets better and better. So, if Andrean is having a hard time stopping him now in the third and fourth quarter, I think they're going to have problems.
And very rarely does the first guy bring him down. You mentioned that earlier. It's the second and third guy, and he's gonna pop one eventually.
2nd down and 4. Back to Davis. Spins around. First down, Valparaiso.
Davis on the carry up the middle.
It's like Ezekiel Gray there on part of the tackle.
The drive Valpo's offensive line and tight ends are getting right now is impressive. I mean, they're treating those Andrean defensive linemen like the blocking sleds, basically, and they're just pushing them wherever they want.
Again, if Andrean, wants to compete for 4 quarters here, they're going to, again, continue to have to bring up that linebacker crew. That kind of leaves the safeties on an island, which what happened the first possession, but you got to roll the dice and find something that works.
Fresh set of downs for Valparaiso. Clark under some trouble, and another great catch by Bradney just along the sideline. First down, Valparaiso. Clark is 2 for 2 so far today, both to Bradney, and both very strong plays.
Yeah, that was really nice by Clark there. He had number 9, Luke Donsbach, bearing down on him. He kept his composure, slaying the pass out to Bradney, and Bradney did a great job twisting the body to make the catch and picking up a few yards on the yak.
Clark being active and being able to roll out like that to his right, that's a long pass over there to the flat.
First down for Valparaiso. They're in the red zone for the first time today. They scored a long touchdown on their last drive. They go to Davis, but this time he stood up. It's taking multiple 59ers. They're gesturing now that Davis lost the football. We'll see what the Stripes think.
They're stopping the clock. You would think maybe the forward possession was stopped.
Donsbach was on the lead effort there, and they'll rule that Valparaiso will maintain possession.
Yeah, I believe he might have lost the ball, but the forward possession was stopped. That's a good effort by Andrean, though. They have to get in there and try to rip the ball away. They're going to have to get turnovers to be able to compete with Valpo here tonight.
Second down and 10 for the Vikings. Davis gets another shot, goes right down Broadway, just shy of the line to gain.
I mean, it's nothing fancy here. They're just running inside zone straight at him, and Andrean just has not been able to stop it. They're very much outsized in the trenches, and Valpo's just leaning on that.
Just helmet to helmet, foul over the blocks, and find a hole.
I got to ask you guys, this is a week 2 game. They're in separate classes. On our conversation last night, we talked about how this was a prep game, and do you think definitely seeing a larger old line is going to prep them for games in October and November?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Andrean, not many 2A schools are going to have a line this big or a running back this big as Davis goes in the end zone. They're not going to probably see a team with this type of size maybe again this season, but you want to test yourself against these bigger schools. Iron sharpens iron philosophy, and I think that's why they've been so successful the past few years is that Coach Skinner has not been shy with booking teams like Valpo on the schedule, Maryville, Lake Central, whoever. I mean, they're going to have Indy Chittard this year, who's one of the best teams in the entire state. So, I mean, he has not shied away from any sort of competition.
After their first PAT was blocked, Valparaiso will go for 2 to try and get it even at 14. This time it's Clark that takes it himself, and he has an easy time, goes in untouched. Valparaiso is up 14-0, 4 minutes left in the first quarter. We'll step aside. You're watching Game Night, built by Von Tobel on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack and Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use, and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack and Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
Welcome back to the campus of Andrean High School in Maryville, Indiana. It's Game Night, built by Von Tobel on the Region Sports Network. Valparaiso leads 14-0 over the 59ers. Just over 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Nelson and Rick Novak. As Valparaiso boots it away for the 3rd time today. This one is returnable. And still trying to shake some bodies.
Is that Finley?
Is Finley, and Finley's tackle just shy of the 20-yard line. He tried to make something out of nothing. Correction, looked like that was on the return.
It's number 13.
I think it was 23, Jaden Holmes.
My bad. I'm getting old. I can't see.
Valpo's doing a great job pitting them back on those kicks, making them take it about the 10-yard line, and then doing a great job with their coverage and kind of just swarming in, no return, basically.
Just containing them, right?
Exactly.
First down and 10 for the 59ers. It's their second drive. They went 3 and out their last time. Eight to snap. Valentine tries to go deep, but it's too much for Finley.
Valentine's pass was intended for
A little broken play there. A little mixed signal there on the route.
Definitely. Valentine was throwing a fade, and Finley wasn't running that, at least not to start. So, it's still early in the season, and the passing game is one thing that you need reps, you need communication to actually be, efficient at. And if you're a pass-happy offense like this, sometimes it takes a few more games to actually get into game speed and be able to execute it at a high level.
The senior Valentine could not find the junior Finley. Tyler Verschure got his head up a second earlier. It could have been trouble. He was in coverage for the Vikings, 2nd and 10 for the 59ers. It's a keeper for Valentine, but he is stood up by the stout D-line of Valparaiso. Tanner Young on the lead effort, and then all his friends followed. 3rd down incoming for Andrean.
You talk about the momentum of this game, and it's already 14-0, and But it's going to be interesting to see how Andrean uses this game. You can't, fake game reps. You can practice things all week, but these reps are going to be invaluable for Andrean as they move forward. As you mentioned, this might be the biggest team they face, throughout the rest of the year. So use these reps, learn something, and figure some stuff out.
3rd down and 8 for Andrean. Bowles gets motioned out. Valentine goes across the middle, tipped at the line and incomplete. Another 3 and out for the 59ers. And they'll bring on their punt unit.
I think one thing right now that's pretty obvious is the Valpo defensive line is dominating the Andrean offensive line. They're so physical. They're getting, their run defense has been great. I mean, they're getting their hands up, obviously, in pass coverage. The previous possession, they had the pressure that forced a bad pass by Valentine. I mean, right now, they're really exerting some dominance over the Andrean offensive line.
Well, that's where the game is won and lost, right? In the trenches there between the tackles.
PJ Cusick boots it away. It's a roller. Valparaiso calls poison, and it takes a Viking roll at the 41-yard line.
Good decision there by the Valpo special teams just to get away from it. There's no sense in messing with that.
I mean, still pretty good field position.
Yeah.
It's their 3rd drive. This will be their 2nd best field position of the evening.
And now, I mean, the Andrean defense, not only are they completely outsized, I mean, they've been on the field quite a bit. I mean, they've got to be getting tired, got to be getting a little beat up already going against this huge Viking offensive line. You got a Division I player in Matt Hoffer right there, number 54. Among a bunch of big boys, so it's tough. It's tough rolling right now for the Andrean defense.
Just over 3 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Valparaiso looks to make it a 3-score game. They go to Davis, who's been their bell cow, and another solid gain close to the line, and they'll give him the first down.
One thing I think, too, is going to come, Clark will eventually, read that and keep it. They're all keying in on the running back there. At some point, he's going to key it or keep it and break to the outside. And again, I think still Davis is going to pop one of those eventually here for 40, 50-yard touchdown.
I mean, he's getting chunks every time he's getting the ball.
Yeah, he's getting closer and closer to it.
Only 2 pass attempts for Clark so far today. You mentioned that the keeper, but instead they go with the option pitch. This time it's Bradney on the reception of that pitch, and he advanced the sticks.
I think that was Davis on the pitch, but I like Valpo getting him on the outside. We've seen him more up the middle. Now they're getting him on the outside, basically forcing those Andrean defensive backs to try to come up and tackle him, and he's 220 pounds, and that's hard to do.
But they still had, Clark ran it like 6 yards before he even had to make a decision. I mean, the defense is so far back, and the line has blown those guys so far off the line.
Davis on that pitch. Thomas Berta takes his spot in the backfield. Berta did not have a carry last week against Penn. Clark on the keeper escapes some trouble and is able to make something out of nothing. Scampers for 6. A solid gain on first down after Andrean got some pressure.
I think you're seeing, what makes him the most dangerous is his legs. I mean, you saw last year in the state run that he made all the throws they needed. You saw him with a big throw earlier tonight. But really where he shines is with his legs. He is a true dual threat, and he makes teams, with that. It's a thunder and lightning kind of with him and Davis, where Davis is just so powerful with the middle, but Clark's got the speed when he can pull it on that outside run.
His ability to make something out of nothing is, really helped him out in the dome last year to win the state championship.
Emmett in motion. Berta gets his first carry on the year and moves the 6.
Picked up about 6 yards.
And when you have an imbalance in carries in week 1 between Davis and Berta, and then Berta finally gets his chance right there, it's got to feel good for the Valparaiso coaching staff.
Well, yeah, I think it feels good for Berta. I think he's behind a guy in Davis who's very good, probably the best back in the region right now. But we saw last year when Davis got hurt, Berta carried this offense, so it's not like he's a slouch. And when you're the Vikings coaching staff, you got to love that.
Yeah, I was going to say you never know when that second guy is going to really be needed to be counted on.
Berta gets a second call, but this time
Berta on the carry.
it's stopped by the defensive line of Andrean. Elijah Jackson in on that stop from the right end along with Ezekiel Gray.
I'm kind of watching some of the Valpo offensive line guys. There's some pancakes happening right now.
They're
wearing them out, and they're having fun with it right now.
They're exerting their will, that's for sure. one thing about O-linemen is they love to run block. You know, it's
that's pride.
The most fun thing you can do in football as an O-lineman. So they're having fun.
Another run. This time it's Davis who's back in the game. And another 10-plus yard gain for Travis Davis.
You know, we talk about his power, but he's very explosive north-south. I mean, when he gets that ball going downhill, you don't want to be in front of him because he's got the speed to go along with that great strength.
Well, that's the luxury of having two fresh running backs. I mean, those are fresh legs came in, you know.
Fresh legs is 220 pounds.
Defensive line has got their hands on their hips a little bit, and they're coming in with fresh legs, you know. It's like
Valparaiso knocking on the door of a 3-score lead. Davis falls just short, a gain of 2.5. Be third down and goal. The Vikings are 1 for 1 on third down. They came back on their first drive, and on that third down play, it was a 50-yard touchdown connection from Clark to Scotty Bradney. This time it's a lot shorter of a distance to go.
Yeah, we'll see if they actually snap it here or if they're going to just let this run, but they're lining up.
They snap it indeed. Berta goes right down Main Street into the end zone. Valparaiso, as the clock hits triple zeros, takes a 3-score lead. They lead 20-0 pending 21 or 22 even maybe with the extra point.
I think they'll go for one here and continue to work on those little special teams that you're going to need later on down the road.
The last play, just a pretty simple trap play. I mean, that drive was just trap, power, counter. Valpo just doing, pretty simple, basic football plays, but executing them at a high level.
Trevor Fonder on for the PAT. The first time around, it was blocked. They went for 2 on their second score. Good pressure off the edge from Finley, but the special teams unit is more efficient, and the kick is good. Valparaiso, 3 touchdowns on 3 drives heading in to the first quarter break. You are watching the only game in town on the Region Sports Network built by Von Tobel.
From schools to stadiums, hospitals and bridges, everywhere you look, Union Carpenters are building Indiana. With jobs and skilled trades in high demand, there's never been a better time to start building your future. As an apprentice, you'll earn a debt-free college degree, earn while you learn, and receive great benefits like healthcare and retirement. So what are you waiting for? Visit carpenters.com to learn more. Visit carpenters.com and start building your future today.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a Union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back to Andrean High School in Maryville, Indiana. The start of quarter number 2. Valparaiso leads 21-0 over Andrean. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Nelson and Rick Novak. Micah Jones on the return for the 59ers. Has some space up the middle. Still going before he's taken down just shy of the 35. A solid return to open quarter number 2.
Definitely the best field position Andrean's going to have to start. And, they need to put points on the board here. So, anything helps.
I like how hard he hit the hole there. He was trying to make some plays.
Jones, a solid kickoff returner, averaged 16 yards on 5 attempts last week, just down the road against Maryville. This is the 3rd drive for Andrean, and they have yet to get a first down. See if there are any adjustments heading into the second quarter of play. Jones in motion, and they go right to him on the direct, under some trouble behind the line of scrimmage. And it's easily cleaned up by the Vikings. Ben Fedorchak leading the way. It brings up 2nd and long.
Yeah, they tried to do a little swing pass there, but Valpo's showing they're not just good when people are trying to run downhill at them. They're good sideline to sideline as well. Great job closing there.
Fedorchak's first tackle for loss on the season. 2nd down and 14 for Andrean. Time to snap. Valentine under some duress, and he's taken down. Tanner Young on the sack. Brings up 3rd down and a mile for Andrean.
I mean, we talked about it last drive. The Valpo defensive line is real. I mean, that's, this past few years under Bill Marshall, their defensive line maybe has been their best position group overall every single year. I mean, these are the guys that on their defense, those are the horses right there, and right now they're just dominating this game.
That, along with the active linebackers crew that they have, is that gives them some flexibility to do some different things.
Call no gain, 3rd down and 14. 10 on the play clock. Valentine tries to go deep, and that ball is
a little short.
We'll see where they spot the ball. Logan Urbaniak on the reception. They have yet to move the chains. He was right at the line of gain. They'll mark him about 1.5 yards short. And now it's decision time for the 59ers. Considering where this game has gone, what do you like?
I mean, I think they need to go for it. I mean, if you want to, you're trying to play to win the game. I mean, you're down 21 points in the 2nd quarter. I think you need to go for this.
It's about 1.5 yards. I mean, maybe they'll run a little option, a little RPO, give them some options to pitch or take it himself.
They're talking it over here. One thing I liked there was Valpo's double covering Jimmy Finley here for Andrean, so they had trips to the other side. So good job by Coach Skinner to put 3 guys away from the double coverage, and then good job by Scott Valentine to recognize that and to get to the ball to one of them.
First timeout burned by Andrean, first for either team so far today. For those of you just joining us, Valparaiso has been perfect so far. 3 drives, 3 scores. As for Andrean, they just got their first completion of the day. They still have yet to get a first down conversion this evening. And they're looking to get that coming out of this timeout.
And again, this is just one of those things that, for Andrean, it's something to work on. 4th and short, what are we going to run? What are we going to run?
Of course. I mean, they're going to need to get this at some point in this season other than this game. So, and more stakes probably too. This is just a non-conference game in August. But in those games in November, you're going to have to convert one of these.
And if we can get it against Valpo, we can get it against anybody.
Exactly.
4th down and 1 yard. A handoff, Stack right at the line, breaks and has space. First down, Andrean, a huge momentum speed by J.J. Bulls.
J.J. Bulls broke some tackles there. That was nice.
Valpo they almost had 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, and when you do that, they had basically nobody, in the 2nd level at linebacker. So once Bulls broke those tackles and got past that 1st level, he was into the secondary for a big gain.
Andrean's in plus territory for the first time tonight. Bulls in motion after that big first down run. That one missed Finley. Some miscommunication. That's not the first time we've seen that between Valentine and Finley.
Well, he kind of threw it to the outside there. Finley was cutting to the inside, to the middle. And, again, this miscommunication. It was there. The play was there.
The play was definitely there, and you saw some Andrean coaches jumping up and down. They saw that the play was there. It was a good play call. Just, again, we talked about passing game takes reps and reps, and sometimes that happens.
Well, it could be we talked about earlier, it's a week of practicing inside.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the big facility that maybe Valpo has, the big field house where you got the space to work on that kind of thing.
2nd down and 10. Bulls goes up the middle. Gain of 6.
It's up 6 yards.
Bring up 3rd down. Fedorchak on the tackle there, and there's an injured 59er.
So we got a cramp.
And we talked about the heat.
Got to stay hydrated.
There's no central air conditioning at Andrean High School, and if these kids weren't properly hydrated throughout the week, you could have situations like this.
While they attend to that, take a look at some scores from around the region. Scoreboard update is brought to you by Strack and Van Til. Hammond Bishop Knoll and Osceola, nothing, so that game is going to be played tomorrow. Boone Grove, 11-0 over South Bend Clay. That game is in the second quarter. Bowman Academy and IC Catholic still scoreless.
Highlands up on Whiting 26-0 in the first quarter.
Crown Point on the road to 2-0, or in the early going. They're up over Chicago Taft 21-0. South Central and Culver, no update on that just yet. We'll have more scores coming up at the halftime. And once again, that scoreboard update brought to you by Strack and Van Til. Strack and Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store.
Hanover over Morden, 7-0 in the first.
They also have Highland up over Whiting, 19-0.
Maryville over Hobart, 14-0 in the first.
Rensselaer over North Newton, 22-0 in the first.
You got John Lemire, who was the injured 59er. He got up and sprinted off under his own power. He's the starting center for Andrean. So Jackson Armstrong will take his spot. Only a 10-pound difference between the two. Third down and 4. Bowles gets motioned out. Valentine under some pressure. Fires deep to the open. Man, it is caught. Trying to fight his way out of a tackle is Finley. And another big play on a pressure down for the 59ers.
Yeah, Doug saw a hold, but the officials didn't, and Valentine.
Did you see that on the end?
I thought I could have saw one myself, but the officials didn't, and that's all that mattered. And Valentine was able to buy enough time off that pressure from the Valpo D-line, and Finley made a great catch, spun out of a tackle, and was able to get a few more yards after the catch.
Well, those guys are. You can tell they play a lot of catch. I mean, that was a lot of point and go. That was a broken play, but that was
improvising.
That's going to happen a lot this year for Andrean.
First down and goal for Andrean from the 8. Off tackle rush for Bowles.
Bowles is a nice back, isn't he? He's like you mentioned, he's got the power to break tackles, and he's young.
And he's a sophomore.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a freshman starter last year for them on their state championship appearance team. I mean, he's kind of got that next man in line kind of hype around him. I know right now. I know he got an offer from Miami of Ohio this summer, so he's a solid player.
Second down and 8 to go to the goal line for Andrean as they look to crack the scoreboard for the first time tonight. Dumas is in the backfield for the 59ers. Valentine hands off to Dumas with a head of steam. He's in. Andrean's on the board.
That was a nice run by him. I think Dumas is a sophomore as well. We haven't really mentioned, but the youth of this Andrean team. They have 6 starting seniors on offense and 5 starting seniors on defense, and only a couple of those guys were starters last year, so not even experience in the senior class. So a lot of younger guys getting some good playing time here against a very good opponent.
Right, and when you open the season with 2 dueling teams that are
at the top.
Quality dueling teams, that's only going to pay dividends down the road for these young guys. Let's pump some life into the Andrean sideline here.
Q6 PAT is rejected. The second blocked PAT in total tonight. 21-6 in favor of Valparaiso, but it's got to be intriguing for Andrean to break the scoreboard. We'll get to that when we come back. You are watching the Game Night built by Von Tobel on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
And we're back at Andrean High School in Maryville, Indiana. Just under 8 minutes left to go in the first half. Valparaiso leads 21-6 over Andrean. Andrean just cracked the scoreboard for the first time. Dumas with his first rushing touchdown of the season. And Valparaiso looks to reply.
Touchdown return, takes it down to the 29-yard line.
Solid return by Julian Stokes.
Cole Jenkins on the tackle.
Valparaiso takes over, but before we get there, a solid drive for Andrean, who struggled in the first quarter offensively.
Yeah, they needed to move the ball. They needed a score. I mean, basically, bar none. So they got what they needed. Obviously, you know, I'm sure Coach Skinner would like it if the PAT wasn't blocked, but we've seen some special teams issues in multiple different games so far this year. I think teams are still working out some kinks there. So, yeah, I mean, if they get a stop here, maybe they can get back into this game, but they really haven't shown that they can, meet strength with strength against the Valpo offense.
This is the first offensive possession for the Vikings in the second quarter. They scored as the clock expired in quarter number one. That one dropped by Scotty Bradney, his first drop of the day. It's also the first incompletion on the day for Justin Clark.
Andreans, they're not pressing him anymore. They're playing way off. Valpo tried to go to a little hitch to him, and he was maybe thinking about the yardage after the catch before he actually completed the catch and just dropped an easy one.
He was thinking run before he actually had the ball there. He had big plans.
Got to catch it before you run. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Nelson and Rick Novak, second down. Davis on the carry, and he keeps on bulldozing through near the line to gain. Finally able to bring him down.
So Jimmy Finley was part of it.
Got Jimmy Finley at least on the host. It took 3 or 4 guys to bring down the power back, and they'll give him the first down.
It's funny, I was talking about Bowles a second ago. He was there in the backfield, but, I mean, he's still a sophomore, and Davis is a senior, and Davis is a pretty good player. He broke that tackle, and, I mean, you see his power there, just driving through guys. He is a bull, and he's hard to bring down.
Talk about a big 2-year gap between the two. In size, experience, everything. Fresh set of downs for the Vikings. On the pitch play, Justin Stokes. Stokes keeps on going. He has space before he's tackled at the 30-yard line.
I was just going to say I thought the Andrean defense did a pretty good job of turning it back to the middle and not letting Stokes get to the outside, but he continued to find nooks and crannies there to get a lot out of that.
I know he had a big reception for them in the state championship last year. He's a pretty fast player himself. Good job by Valpo getting him on that jet sweep, getting him the ball in space, and he made a great play there, cutting it back, breaking some tackles.
Stokes had a touchdown last week against Penn, only 1 reception. So that's his second touch on the year. Old Reliable and Davis, and another Old Reliable first down gain.
I mean, the holes from here look massive that he's running through. I mean, the offensive line is doing a great job, and he's hitting the hole very hard. And a guy that big, I mean, as a defensive back, you don't want to see him barreling down on you.
Mentioned it earlier, but the interior offensive line of Valparaiso, you got Ben Ricard at 270 pounds, and he's the smallest of the 3. DeAndre Price and Grant Anderson each north of 300. Second down and 5. Back to Davis. And another first down.
Looks like we talked about earlier, they have their backup running back. Berta would be a starting running back for
anywhere else.
A lot of other teams in the Doolin and teams around northwest of Indiana. But to have that luxury of being able, like say if they wanted to right now, bring in fresh legs and let him get it in the end zone. But they might let him finish the drive since you got him most of the way down here on his own.
Got a lot of good running backs so far in the region. Larry Ellison of Crown Point, the junior.
Michigan City's got a guy.
Jaden Hart.
Yeah.
First down, Davis again. Keeps on going, barrels down inside the 5, takes a bunch of 59ers near the end zone and into the end zone. Davis's second touchdown.
It was like a pinball. It was about 6 guys he bounced off of.
No, I mean, that was he was first hit within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, and he kept running 10 yards after he got hit. Just shows you his power and just how physically dominant he is. And if you keep running him up the middle like that over and over again, a defense really has no hope of really containing him.
Davis, a yak machine. Fonders PAT. Splits the uprights. Valparaiso replies successfully. They lead 28-6 over Andrean, almost in the back half of quarter number 2 here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
It's game night, built by Von Tobel here in Maryville, Indiana, on the campus of Andrean High School, where the Valparaiso Vikings just scored on their 4th consecutive drive. They lead 28-6 over the Andrean 59ers. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Nelson and former Andrean offensive lineman Rick Novak. Fonder boots it away. Jones on the return. He had a good one the last time around, and he'll duplicate it this time around. Hit the hole hard. Gets to the 30-yard line. Ben Fedorchak on the special teams stop. And Andrean, who scored their last time out, looks to make it 2 in a row.
I think if you're Andrean here, you don't think about how you don't think about defense right now. You think about how can we execute on offense, how can we move the ball, just get a first down, build some confidence. You had a good drive last time, and just how can we improve off of this?
Yeah, they had a great drive last time. Bowles did a really good job of getting the ball down the field, and they had a chance. Once you prove you can run it, then you can throw a little bit because the defense can't key on one thing.
So, looks like there was 12 men in the huddle. No penalty.
Yeah, he was. They're having some issues with the play clock.
2 to snap now. First down and 10. Valentine goes deep, complete. Foot race down to the end zone. Fedorchak able to tackle Urbaniak. And a big play for Andrean.
Well, that's what we were just talking about. The Bowles just proved on the last drive that he can run. So the safeties had to play up a little bit and then do a little play action, and then you got some things down the field.
Yeah, they ran that kind of motion swing pass a couple times earlier in the game. Valpo had obviously seen it. They were reacting to it, but you get the counter off of it there. Great play call by Coach Skinner.
A 43-yard gain.
I was going to say great execution. Great throw. Valentine, we know, can throw the ball.
First down and 10. Andrean gets the ball coming out of halftime. Valentine tries to go back-to-back. Finley this time. And
catch it.
Complete!
Touchdown. What a play.
Wow. We talked about earlier, Valpo was double covering Finley earlier. They went to single coverage. They were press coverage. I was wondering if Valentine was going to take a shot for pre-snap, and he did. They noticed it.
Yeah.
And Finley is a junior. He's got offers from Purdue at safety, but they're using him at wide receiver because they're a little thin, and he's showing that he's a playmaker at wide receiver as well.
And the corner was up pressing, with no safeties back, and the corner is up on, that one. That's just made for Finley to be able to make a play. That's what playmakers do right there.
Great throw by Ballantyne as well. And great job coming back. It was good coverage by the defensive back. He knocked it away, but just great ball skills by Finley.
They're going for 2.
They'll go for 2 to make up for the block PAT on their prior possession. Ballantyne goes to Bowles. In trouble, and the try is unsuccessful. Parker Gleason in the backfield spoils the chance for 2. We'll step aside right now. When we come back, we'll continue to dissect that immaculate catch by Jimmy Finley here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Growing up in Northwest Indiana, I am proud that my family's been doing business here for nearly 100 years, which started with my grandfather, John Gladish. Over my career, I've witnessed families being torn apart by the negligence of others, and everything from unguarded openings at construction sites to reckless driving on our roads. Our experienced attorneys, paralegals, and staff know that insurance companies and their lawyers will go to great lengths to avoid paying compensation. Do not waste your one and only opportunity to seek fair compensation for your loss. Give the Gladish Law Group a call and put our team to work for you.
If you work with industrial, pneumatics, or hydraulics, and you're in need of maintenance or repair, you need the right connection. For over 20 years, Hose Connections in Hammond has been the premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop for sales and service of pneumatics and hydraulics. Hose Connections continues to grow their network of industry contacts, which allows them to meet even your toughest expectations. To learn more, visit HoseConnectionsInc.com. Hose Connections in Hammond. Proven under pressure.
Following what could be on national television later tonight, a top 10-esque catch by Jimmy Finley on a tip ball for Andrean. Cusick will boot it away to Valparaiso, who leads 28-12 with just over 5 minutes left to go in the first half. No return here. McKenzie lets it roll into the end zone, but Jimmy Finley, the ball's tipped in the front corner of the end zone. Finley has to crawl back. We're showing the replay right now. Talk about this play, a game-changing touchdown.
Well, yeah, first it was a pretty good throw by Ballantyne. He gave his guy a chance, and Finley, it's good coverage. The DB is right there, but Finley's a DB himself, so he's got great ball skills, and he came back for that one. It reminded me of the Julian Edelman catch in the Super Bowl against the Falcons a few years ago, where it's just a fingertip catch nearly off the ground. Great play by Jimmy Finley.
And after that Edelman catch, they were in the midst of a massive comeback. Andrean will have to do the same here tonight. Almost trouble for the Vikings. And they're able to make something out of nothing.
He's out of bounds.
Oof.
But they'll call it incomplete. The pass was caught, but the feet were out of bounds. It was trouble from the start. Clark ran into his own man and then was under immense pressure. But the fact that he got the ball off is impressive itself.
Yeah, Andrean came with a blitz. They got home immediately, forced an early throw, and that's kind of why Clark kind of sailed it out of bounds, because Bradney had his man beat a little bit there for another big play.
You got Berta in the backfield now for Valpo.
Berta right up the middle, but only a gain of 3. And when I say only a gain of 3, it just shows how impressive this Valpo run game's been so far.
They've been getting 6 yards at least, it feels like. They've been getting whatever they want. So, Andrean here, they got him in 3rd and long here. They've only been in 3rd and long a couple times. The last time they were in 3rd and long, we saw the huge pass to Bradney. So, Andrean, if you can get off the field here, you got a chance for one more drive before half. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Big play.
This big play to dictate what direction this game will go right here.
Valparaiso's 2 for 2 on 3rd downs today. Clark goes for the home run, and it's short.
It's a big stop.
A big stop for the Andrean 59ers. Valparaiso is going to bring on the punt team, and with 4:19 left in the half, depending on how quick the 59ers want to be, they get the ball on the other side, so they have a chance for a 2-for-1, and depending on if they score and can manipulate the PATs, a chance to maybe tie this thing up in a few minutes.
Well, I think it's going to take a few things to go their way. Obviously, they need to execute still on offense. They've had some good plays here. They've strung together 2 good drives. They've shown mostly to themselves that they can move the ball against Valpo. They've gotten some confidence back, and now they got to stop finally. That's the first stop they've gotten all half. So if it's a time to change the momentum of the game, it is right now.
Yeah, and it's a long game. You know, when Andrean's trying to make it a 4-quarter game, you know, on the Valpo sideline, you got to play with urgency until the final whistle. You know, you can't let up, you can't relax. You know, coach might have been having some, playing some bench guys or getting some guys in and out, but Andrean's trying to make this a 4-quarter game, and that shows a lot about Coach Skinner and his staff and the grit of this team.
Valparaiso took a commanding lead. They scored on their first 4 drives. And like Rick mentioned a few moments ago, that's the first stop that Andrean was able to induce. Assuming nothing funny here, you'd think that Valparaiso is just going to go with a straight punt.
I mean, Valpo's punting from inside their own 10. I mean, Andrean has a chance to get some pretty good field position here as well.
Looks like they're bringing some pressure.
Sky kick, poison called into a scrum.
That's scary. That's dangerous.
Valparaiso gesturing that it hit off of a 59er, waiting on the official signal, and it did.
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies in there. You got to be yelling it early.
I mean, yeah, that's on the punt return. He's either got to catch the ball or call poison. I mean, the ball was almost to him before he finally let it go. I mean, he's got to be calling poison way sooner than that. And you saw Coach Skinner was screaming at him, and rightfully so, because that's completely on him. Those guys blocking don't know where the ball is, and they're waiting for him to say something, and he can't allow the ball to get basically to him before he makes his decision. That's a huge play for this team. I mean, all the momentum Andrean thought they had, they don't have anymore.
Yeah, we mentioned the first stop of the day. Even though it'll go down as a forced punt, still no change in possession. And now Valparaiso gets all their momentum back that seemed to be going from the far sideline towards the near sideline.
When you're the underdog on paper, you got to take advantage of those stops. You got to take advantage of those those breaks and
mistakes like that. That's a bad mistake. That's something that you work on over the summer, and you can't have against a very good team.
Yep.
So Valparaiso with a chance to score their 5th touchdown, and they go back to Davis. Davis with some room, and Davis falls forward inside the 25. And that's back to the good old Valparaiso run game that we've seen all night.
Yeah, when he gets to that second level or when he's on the outside, man, he is really, I mean, he's tough to bring down in between the tackles. But once he gets to where he's against a DB or a linebacker, he is so hard to bring down. And he's got surprising speed for a kid that big. And, I mean, right now they're getting anything they want when he's in the game.
He can run away from people. He can run over people, and then he can run away from you. So, but the offensive line did a great job of sealing off that left side, and he had a shot to the outside there.
Davis one more time.
Davis off the left side.
And he's giving the chain gang a cardio workout tonight.
Yeah, I mean, power. And he's running right behind the pulling guard.
They're going no huddle.
Yeah, and then they're kind of putting the pedal to the metal here and really leaning on the Niner defense.
No huddle. Davis falls forward, gets right around the 5-yard line.
Yeah, power again. And I mean, he was hit pretty close to the line of scrimmage, but again, I mean, it takes multiple guys to bring him down. One guy is not going to be able to do it.
You also got to think about how he keeps falling forward every single time, and at his height of 6 foot flat, it's an extra yard at least, depending how stretched out he is. 2nd down and 5. They can pick up a first down without scoring. Clark almost taken down is Davis, and he has his 3rd touchdown on the day. Valparaiso takes advantage of a punt miscue by Andrean, and they lead 34-12.
He broke more tackles there. I mean,
they had him in the backfield.
Yeah, they had a guy there and had a shot to bring him out, bring him down in the backfield.
I mean, he had him by the ankles too, and he didn't have him up high. I mean, no, he's very hard to stop in short yardage. And Valpo back to a pretty dominating position in this game.
Fonder on for the extra point. And the kick is through. 35-12 in favor of Valparaiso. Andrean seeks a 2-for-1 when we come back on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Develop skills that will last for a lifetime with an apprenticeship with the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers Local 4, Indiana, Kentucky. The apprenticeship and training program is committed to developing highly skilled bricklayers, terrazzo workers, and ceramic tile setters to provide the construction industry with the best hands in the business. If you are currently working non-union and want better pay with benefits, or if you think learning a new skill with a paid apprenticeship while you earn your associate's degree is the right path for you, visit baclocal4.org/training to learn more about the apprenticeship program. Are you built to succeed?
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
$35-12 your score as Jones gets his third straight quality kickoff return in a row for Andrean as the 59ers, with just under 2 minutes left to go in the half, look to avenge a key mistake earlier on in this quarter. They had the punt team out for Valparaiso. The punt was booted away, but in a cluster of red and white jerseys, hit off of an Andrean coverage individual, and then Valparaiso maintained control of the football, went down and scored, and that's where we sit 35-12. Matt Sossler alongside Rick Novak and Doug Nelson.
They're leaving Finley one-on-one again. One safety.
Finley had the last touchdown.
He dropped back there.
Valentine under some immediate pressure, forced to roll.
You can see the corner drop back there right before the snap, and he's not going to get burned up the sideline for a go route again.
Pass just short of Jones. Second down and 10.
Well, now if you're Andrean, if you want to have a hope of staying in this game, you need to score here. At least get something. I mean, preferably a touchdown, because if you get a field goal, you're still 3 possessions down.
Andrean gets the ball to open quarter number 3. Second down and 10 for the 59ers. Valentine. Another rollout. And this time, the pass is caught. We'll see where the feet are at, and they'll rule it.
I think he was out of bounds.
I think he was out of bounds,
Valentine is getting no time to throw on these rollouts, which is not good because those rollouts are designed to move the pocket to give him more time. So if he's not getting time on a design rollout, it just goes to show just how fast the Valpo defensive line is getting in there on him.
And you're also rolling away from Finley, right? I mean, Finley's over here on the near sideline, and he gets rolling to his right. You're rolling away from your stud. Unless you drag him across with you, right?
Third down and 10 for Andrean, following 2 close incompletions. Valentine stays in the pocket this time. Goes towards Finley, hits off his right hand. Vershear in coverage. And the incompletion brings up 4th down. And now you got to consider that Valparaiso who's been a lightning bolt when they have the football, has a minute and a half, and that's plenty of time for the Vikings to march, especially with 2 timeouts in their back pocket.
Exactly.
It gives you a chance to work on your 2-minute game. You know, you got some timeouts. Let's see if you can move the ball with a minute and a half left here, and probably pretty decent field position.
I mean, and with Stokes and Bradney, they've got some speed on the outside. They can throw the ball around if they need to.
Verschure and McKenzie are back. It goes to Verschure right at the 30. Cuts back, has some space, gets a massive block, and he keeps on churning. There is laundry on the field, so it looks like this one's going to move back a tad, but Parker Gleason sending a message.
So it's one of those blindside blocks.
Yeah, it's a crackback block. You can't block going back towards your own end zone. So that's going to be a penalty. It's not a block in the back. It's a crackback block. There is a difference, but that's a more recent rule.
That was like a personal foul because he blocked him high.
Luke Donsbach was on the receiving end of a massive block. They'll call a hold, actually.
Oh, wow.
That's declined, so I'm guessing there's something else coming in. Here we go.
There's the personal foul.
Yeah,
so let's see where they back that up to. It wipes out.
It's going to be from the penalty spot, I believe.
The 15 yards from there.
Block was at around the 35.
So we could be back on the 20-yard line-ish.
He ended his return. He saw the hit and then saw the flag fly out. So Verschure pumped the brakes at the plus 20-yard line.
I mean, they also had a hold, so this one was going to come back either way.
Pretty clean game so far, flag-wise.
These are the first two that we had. But we're still waiting to see where they mark the football. They'll mark it off from the 36.
Should be about the 21-yard line.
One thing is now with Valpo, I mean, now you don't have great field position here. Do you just take some knees?
Well, maybe you hand a couple off and see if he breaks one, right? And then say, okay, now we got a chance.
Get some breathing room, potentially.
It's a 60-yard difference almost between where they would have been versus where they are now due to the flags.
Alberta's in the backfield with Clark.
Valparaiso has a $121 to try and make something happen. They go to the air, and Stokes on the reception.
Gets out of bounds, stops the clock.
Clock stops with Stokes stepping out of bounds with 1:15 left before the break.
That's what I was talking about. They can pass the ball if they need to. Clark's got an arm, and they've got some fleet receivers on the outside. A great job by Stokes, not just getting the yards after the catch, but the wherewithal to get out of bounds. And now that they're in business here with 1:15 left at about the 40-yard line.
That was a great throw by Clark. I mean, my goodness, throws it on the outside, leads him to the sideline, get out of bounds.
Had some zip on it.
It sure did.
Clark under some trouble. And thankfully for Valparaiso, that pass finds green grass. The clock stops on the incompletion. Brings up second down. Great pressure, though, by Andrean.
They brought the house.
Yeah, they brought at least 2 linebackers I saw.
And given that Valparaiso has hit a couple of home run plays so far today, if you're the Andrean defense, do you send the house, get pressure, limit Clark's ability to make a decision, and risk the over-the-top pass? Or do you try and play conservative and give him more time?
It's kind of a pick-your-poison situation because he's when you play man with blitzes against a guy that's mobile like him, he can break one himself then.
See, if he does that right here, he's under some pressure, he's able to get out of bounds.
That's the good thing about having a senior quarterback, right? I mean, he's been there. He's been in a lot of these situations, and like that roll out there, a younger guy might have forced something, but he just took it and took what they give you, get out of bounds, and he got like 4 yards out of it. So live to see another day.
Yeah, one thing about Valpo is with the way they won state last year, I mean, you can't get more battle-tested than those guys are, basically. I mean, every game that they needed to win was a battle and was a grind for them. So these guys, nothing really will faze them, I don't think.
3rd down and 7 for the Vikings. They've only missed on 1 3rd down today, and that'll be their 2nd miss on 3rd down today.
The ball sailed on them. See if they go for it or just try to get a punt off.
Yeah, Bradney was open there, but Clark did sail it a little bit.
56 seconds left
He put a little too much fire on that one.
Yeah. Valparaiso has sent their punt out once, and it was muffed by Jones.
It was a great stop by the Andrean defense, though. Get off the field again.
You can give up a big play and then kind of regroup, and so you still got a minute left, 2 timeouts. I mean,
another one right in the middle of everybody.
Another trouble punt. Takes a Valparaiso bounce, and we see all the red jerseys start running towards the sideline to try to avoid what happened last time. So Andrean will get the ball at the 20, 55 seconds left, 2 timeouts. Down 35-12. If you're on the sideline right now, what do you do?
Well, it's tough. I mean, that ball took a huge Valpo roll. It bounced probably about 15 yards or so after it hit the ground. That was, kind of, another kind of miscue on, because if he catches that fair catch, you're almost close to the 40 there. Maybe you can do a little bit more. Now it's tough.
But what do you have to lose?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Go for it. Take a couple shots.
They'll wind the clock down to 45 seconds. And that's very critical. That could be 3 plays, depending on what was drawn up in the book. Valentine stays in the pocket, and that's picked off. Going the other way. And into the end zone for the Valparaiso Vikings is Jacob Moore, pick 6. Bad turns into worse for Andrean, and they hit north of 40 before halftime.
That was worst case scenario there.
That's what I'm talking about. You're backed up. The coverage for Valpo all night has been pretty tight. You got a quarterback who's trying to make a play, maybe trying too hard to make a play, and he forces one in there, and an easy pick 6, to be completely honest with you, for Valpo.
They dropped their safeties back, and he just stepped up right up in the. He was reading the quarterback's eyes, and
all the way.
That was straight going there on the highway.
The Vikings seek a 30-point advantage, pending this PAT.
Missed it.
Misses just to the left. That's the second miss on the day for Fonder. We'll step aside. 34 seconds left to go in the half. Valparaiso will boot it away on the other side. You're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Better Beef of Indiana. Hormone-free, locally raised, and locally processed beef. Better Beef of Indiana is located in Valpo at 2600 Beach Street, where you could buy individual cuts of beef completely raised in Hebron. From single pounds of ground beef to filet mignon, Better Beef of Indiana has it all. Visit their website at betterbeefindiana.com. Follow them on Facebook or call the owner, Kevin, directly at 219-508-5797. Better Beef of Indiana, where quality meets value.
Heinold and Feller Tire and Lawn Equipment has been servicing customers in Northwest Indiana since 1958. A full-service tire and automotive repair store located in Valparaiso. The Auto Repair Department can handle all of your repair and general automotive needs, while the Lawn and Garden Department sells and services outdoor power lawn equipment. Next time you need an expert, stop in at Heinold and Feller Tire and Lawn Equipment, 1707 Lincoln Way and Valparaiso. For more info, the website is heinold-feller.com.
41-12 is your score in the waning minute of the opening half between Valparaiso and Andrean. It's the only game in town on the Region Sports Network presented by Von Tobel. Jacob Moore just had a pick 6 for the Vikings to put Valparaiso up by 29, and then a missed PAT, the second on the day for Trevor Vonder. He'll boot it away here. Matt Sossler alongside Rick Novak and Doug Nelson. Jones is back for Andrean. He's had 3 returns of more than 20 yards. This will be his 4th before he gets stood up with 23 seconds left. And guys, if you're on the sideline, and even if I'm on the sideline, if I'm Andrean right now, I hand the ball off, you kneel, and then you go to the locker room, right?
Yeah, I think you need to get out of here right now and get back to the locker room, regroup a little bit, take a deep breath. The past couple minutes, you thought you might have had chance to grab some momentum, and the momentum is swung right back over to Valpo. So, yeah, I think you need to just get out of here right now.
Yeah, run a little power right up with Bowles. Give him the ball, and just keep running straight to the building.
That interception was Ballantyne's third of the season. It was Moore's first pick. 22 seconds.
Well, that's
and
why.
Andrean will throw. It's dropped by Jones.
Valentine's pass intended for Micah Jones.
You know, we saw Bradney drop one similarly earlier, and you got both of the guys who dropped that one. They tried to catch the ball with their body instead of with their hands, and you know, I think that's kind of a natural thing for a lot of young kids, and it takes a little while to be able to, you know, kind of automatically catch the ball with your hands. But, you know, if you do that sometimes, quick, easy throws like that can get bobbled.
Yeah, you lose the ball too, right? I mean, your mask gets in there. His head wasn't all the way in. I mean, you catch it out here with your hand, you can see the ball, and his head was up, definitely.
Second down to Finley.
Pass complete to Finley.
Just short of the 6. The clock winds, 10 seconds.
Tackled by Tyler
And it looks like
Mercer.
Andrean's going to take their time and start their walk, the long walk here at Andrean towards the locker room. Clock hits zeros. Valparaiso leads 41-12 heading into the half over Andrean. We'll get your first half reactions when we come back on the Host Connections halftime report presented by Host Connections, proven under pressure. You are watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
For over 100 years, Burns Funeral Home and Crematory has been assisting families in their time of need. Serving Northwest Indiana, the staff at Burns Funeral Home will help guide your family in creating a meaningful ceremony. From a simple to elaborate, to traditional or unique, the caring family at Burns Funeral Home will tailor a ceremony to fit your needs. And for your other loved ones, Burns Funeral now has a pet cemetery and crematory. Visit burnsfuneral.com or give them a call at 219-942-1117. Welcome to Public Bar and Rec, located in downtown Crown Point, a place for good games, good drinks, and good food. So come in and make it public. Try to survive zombie dodgeball, score a hole-in-one playing golf, or choose from over 13 multi-sport simulator games while fueling your competition with a variety of appetizers, entrees, and beverages. We have games for all ages with our family-friendly hours till 9 p.m. Reserve your simulator at publicbarandrec.com and let the fun begin.
Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Centrally located in downtown Indianapolis, the Hampton Inn is just steps away from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Situated at 105 South Meridian Street, shopping, restaurants, entertainment, and many Indianapolis attractions are in near proximity. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a gym fitness center. For reservations, the number is 317-261-1200. The website is hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Education and health.
Then check out Valpo Car Company, a family-owned dealership since 2009. Recently given an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Valpo Car Company finances all types of credit. Stop in and see the owner, Nick Mandich, a 2002 Valparaiso High School graduate, at their dealership at 150 East US Highway 6 in Valpo. You always could check out their website at www.valpocarco.com, where you can easily find the used car you want in seconds. Valpo Car Company, we could help you get into the ride you want.
This is Heather Holmes.
It's game night in the region presented by Von Tobel, and it's also time for our Host Connections halftime report, connecting the first half and the second half of tonight's game. It's the Host Connections halftime presented by Host Connections, proven under pressure. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Nelson and Rick Novak. The score at the intermission, 41-12 in favor of Valparaiso over Andrean. And let's get first half reactions. We saw some mistakes on behalf of Andrean, but most of the first half has just been dominant by Travis Davis and Valparaiso.
Yeah, I think Valpo is dominating in the trenches. I think that's maybe the number one storyline. And then, we saw Andrean had an opportunity to maybe get some momentum. They're down 28-12. They're going to get a punt from Valpo, and some miscommunication. Nobody calls poison, and it goes off of an Andrean guy. Valpo recovers, puts it right in the end zone, and all of that momentum that Andrean thought they had went away in a blink of an eye, and Valpo has really reasserted themselves at a dominant position in this game. And, Andrean, they just need to come out in the second half and just not worry about the scoreboard and just try to put together good drives, good reps on defense, and just try to get as much of this out of this game as they possibly can in the second half.
And I think the interesting part is being the second game of the year, you never know what the coaches are working on, right? I mean, you were here, you knew what's the game plan. They could be game planning right now for next week. They're working on things that they might use next week. If it doesn't work, then you're back to the drawing board. So. With the Valpo defense, they brought the safeties up. They brought them back. They were, pressing Finley. They were, chasing the quarterback around a little bit at times. So you never know what Coach Marshall's working on and what the Andrean coaching staff is working on. And, but on the scoreboard tonight, Valpo's on the correct end for right now. But Coach Skinner's got some things that he can be proud of right now.
Oh, of course. I think also, to your point right there, football is one game where no team is the same first game of the season as they are the last game they play.
Right.
There's constant shuffling of guys. It takes a lot of tweaking and finding which guy is the most effective in which spots. Maybe one guy is better at one position than another. Maybe he'll be more effective doing something else for you. It takes a long time sometimes to really put the guys in the right position to succeed. I mean, last year, Valpo, Justin Clark wasn't the starter first couple games. And then he was, and then at the end of the season with him and Davis, building some chemistry when Davis came back from injury, then all of a sudden they were really clicking on all cylinders, and then they win state. So it's all about trying to find the right places for the right guys and how you can be the best team you can be when you need to play your last game of the season.
And talking about Valpo, a team that was celebrating their state title a week ago, they lose to Penn on their home field, and then they come into this game absolutely firing. You think that lit a fire under them heading into Andrean?
Well, we talked about that. I talked to a couple of Valpo people, prior to last week's game, and we were like, we want Valpo to lose. We want to get that urgency back. There's so many people around town patting you on the back. Oh, you're so good. You're going to go do it again. It's going to be so easy. It's not.
No.
If you've competed in any sport, first of all, it's very hard to win state. It's really, really hard to do it again. You know what I mean? Back to back. So, if nothing else, like I said, it got the kids' attention, and it's kind of like this game here. They kind of cakewalk through the first quarter, and Andrean puts a couple drives together. That got their attention again, and say, okay, we got to play 4 quarters here, and they did. And they kind of put the foot on the pedal here the last couple minutes of the quarter.
Yeah, I mean Valpo. I think to your point, they kind of did take the foot off the gas there, and Andrean, I know they're a 2A school and Valpo's a 5A school. Andrean's still a good football team.
Yeah,
so you can't just, against good football teams, and when they get into Duneland Conference play, I mean, there's teams that are better than others, but you got to play 4 quarters against good football teams. And in the playoffs, you're not going to be able to take a quarter off, I don't think.
Right.
So you got to be able to get used to the physical conditioning that you need, not just with your cardio, but just the ability to take a beating, basically, and the mental strength and toughness. And Valpo, I mean, this kind of non-conference game, they schedule it for a reason. Both teams get maybe a little bit different out of it, but they both get a lot out of it, and that's kind of why this game is being played.
Right. And I think with Valpo, like you're saying, that focus is, I mean, you can lose a game in 2 possessions, right? I mean, we saw it with the punt.
Flip, yes.
I mean, So you got to stay sharp, and as soon as you get a little lazy and lack of urgency, that's when unfortunately people get hurt. And games can flip on a heartbeat.
And before we get to a Strack and Van Til scoreboard update on the other side of this upcoming break, I want to talk about conditioning. A very hot week here in Northwest Indiana. Practices have been adjusted, whether it's outside to inside or not even practicing at all. In a game like this where your weekly routine, your conditioning might not be at 100%, how do you think each coach is approaching it heading into half number 2?
Well, thankfully we've only seen one player cramp up so far, and he was able to get up pretty quickly after that. So it looks like both teams were properly hydrating themselves throughout the week. And, both these coaching staffs are very good, and I'm sure that they were hammering that into the kids' heads. But you don't want anybody to get hurt in a game that maybe, Valpo is up 29 points. Andrean, they're not going to come out and just lay down, but you don't want to take any unnecessary risks with certain players, maybe not run your quarterbacks, etc. Maybe get some other guys in, some backups in. You don't want anybody to get injured in a game where, it's looking like Valpo is going to be able to, if we're being honest, ride this out and win. So, you don't want to, have anything go right. And also, to your point about not having a standard week of practice, it's only the second week of practice to begin with. So you're only in your second real game week practice mode, and it's getting disrupted by the weather. That's going to throw some things off, especially for a team like Andrean, where you have so many kids that have now not had varsity experience. Valpo, almost their entire team has varsity experience, so they know what it's like. The Andrean guys, they might not have known what it's like, and if they're not getting a real true practice, or you got to do just a walkthrough in a gym, it's not going to be able to prepare you for a team like Valpo as much as a true contact practice would.
Right, and of course, Coach Skinner's going to coach to win the game. But it's interesting too, as you talked about. If I'm Andrean, I might leave my guys in for 4 quarters to get these game time reps against big dudes, and then on the other side, Valpo might rest some guys. Maybe sit Clark, maybe sit Berta. Give some guys some more reps, and reward them for all the work they'd put in during the week for practice. But that's just the funny part of this sideline's different from that side, and every Friday night, so it's always up to the coach's philosophy and what their plans are down the road.
Second half's coming up in about 10 minutes. We'll step aside when we come back on the Host Connections Halftime Report. It's the Strack and Van Til scoreboard update here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Are you a builder, remodeler, or homeowner? If so, you need quality materials at the right price. Whether you're just getting started or a seasoned pro, Von Tobel's friendly and knowledgeable staff can help. And since we're 100% employee-owned, every time you come in, you're dealing with an owner. We have a great selection for kitchen, bath, flooring, decking, and more. Plus, we offer free design consults to help you with your next project. Scan or visit vontobels.com today to book your free consultation. Von Tobel, building better together.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack and Van Til to go. Our to-go service is easy to use, and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack and Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
From schools to stadiums, hospitals, and bridges, everywhere you look, union carpenters are building Indiana. With jobs and skilled trades in high demand, there's never been a better time to start building your future. As an apprentice, you'll earn a debt-free college degree, earn while you learn, and receive great benefits like healthcare and retirement. So what are you waiting for? Visit carpenters.com to learn more. Visit carpenters.com and start building your future today.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at forajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
(41-12) is your score as we're about to get ready to go for the start of the second half. And as we wrap up the Host Connections halftime report on the Region Sports Network, it is time for our Strack and Van Til scoreboard update. Strack and Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Nelson and Rick Novak. It's an exciting night around the region. What do we got going on?
We got Highland up 39-0 over Whiting currently. Maryville 24-6 over Hobart in the third quarter. Pirates looking good this year again. Lake Station and West Central, we're waiting for scores there. If you have scores for any games that we don't have, please send them to us so we can update our scoreboard. Lowell 14-7 over LaPorte in the third. Close game there down at the Inferno.
Especially after a Lowell tough loss to Crown Point last week.
Exactly. Michigan City 14-14 against Jeff. Oh, Jeff, we actually just got an update. Jeff just scored 20-14, 3:27 left in the third. And then we also have Crown Point up 42-0 over Chicago Taft with about a minute to go there. Northwood putting the beats to Portage 35-7. Providence Catholic over LC 21-14 in the third.
River Forest.
Yeah, River Forest is up over Calumet 26-0 at the half.
the football score.
Oh boy, Chesterton 6-5 over Warsaw right now, and that has to be in the second half. But yeah, we got a baseball score in a football game. That one has been a grind, it appears.
Chesterton's bringing in the closer, bottom of the ninth back down there.
That's your Strack and Van Til scoreboard update. Strack and Van Til, shop online for delivery or curbside pickup at strackandvantil.com, and follow all of tonight's region football scores live on the Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard, streaming on facebook.com/regionsports and regionsports.com. Strack and Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. About a minute 50 left before the ball goes in the air for the second half. Any second half adjustments that you guys have for both Valpo and Andrean, because we're looking at a game that's lopsided on the scoreboard, but like you guys said prior to the scoreboard update, there's a lot that both these teams can still accomplish in the second half of play.
I think both of these teams are going to be actually looking more at themselves really than the other team here. I think they need to evaluate right now. Valpo, they can evaluate some depth, I think. Andrean, they need to start evaluating, hey, what do we do best here? You know, what are the things that we think going forward are going to work for us? You know, you're playing a good team with a good defense. On offense, you can kind of see, you know, they've had some success throwing the ball to Finley. They've had some success running the ball to Bowles. Let's see what we can do here and try to find our identity going forward, because, you know, it's a long season. This is only the second game. You know, we talked before, they're probably not going to play a team with the size, at least, of Valpo again. How can we take this experience and make it the best for us going forward?
I agree with that. I agree. You know, like you said, in the Northwest Crossroads where Andrean plays, there's some size. There's Lowell. There's Hobart. You know, there's Hobart, and you know they're going to see that. But this game will benefit them. But they just got to clean things up. I think they got some weapons, like you said. They got Finley. They have Bowles. You know, Valentine is a great quarterback. And again, you know, and at the end of the day, it's about the postseason. So. It's a long. This is a marathon, boys. As you know, exactly. I mean, they're going all the way to Thanksgiving weekend. So, you know, there's a long way to go.
A weekend where it'll be about 50 degrees cooler, hopefully, than what today. Maybe 80 degrees cooler from what we had over the past 48 hours.
Not too much cooler now. We've been to some slushy stuff, and I'll take this every day of the week.
Go from 100 in September or August to. Maybe 20 in Indianapolis over Thanksgiving, but thankfully they got pretty good facility down at Lucas Oil Stadium for the state title game. Clock hits 000 at halftime. I know we're looking at a 41-12 score. Finish a sentence for me. Andrean makes this game interesting if
they execute. I think if they execute and they execute over and over again, they'll have a chance. I mean, we saw them. They've scored 2 touchdowns. They were able to move the ball at certain points. So I think if they continue to execute on offense, they'll be able to put the ball in the end zone. On defense, that's another story, because right now they're getting bludgeoned by the Valpo O-line and Thomas Davis. They might, you know, sometimes in football you just get outstrengthed, and there's nothing really you can do about that at some points. But on offense, I think they can make it interesting if they continue to execute and put together strings of good drives.
And I agree with that. Just don't shoot yourself in the foot, right? Control the controllables. On offense, take care of the ball. They've had some drops where they had the ball right there in the numbers. On defense, make tackles. You know, gang tackle. Do what you've been working on and control what you can control, and that's what we do, and not necessarily what Valpo's doing.
Other side for Valpo, I know you could easily say keep doing what they've been doing, but what's something to look out for on the Vikings sideline in the second half?
Well, sometimes you'll see teams maybe put things on film for other teams going forward that maybe they just want to get it on film. Just to put it in the back of other teams' minds. We'll see if, you know, Valpo does anything kind of out of the ordinary for them. I mean, their game plan in the first half was sort of vanilla, so to speak. I mean, a lot of just power, a lot of off-tack, a lot of pretty standard stuff from them that we've seen from them the past few years. But we'll see, you know, in the second half, maybe they'll start to switch up a little bit more and start putting some things on film for Duneland play that those teams are going to have to prepare for.
And the other part of that is that, you know, how can they clean things up, you know? Of course, the holes have been there for the running backs and Berta and Evans, but it's hard when you're up 29. But I would like to see Clark make some crisp throws. You know, again, the Valpo coaching staff's not going to do anything to embarrass Andrean, and that's not the point of it. It's, you know, what can you work on, and I think he needs to be more crisp. hit the cuts better, hit the routes better, and because he's sailed a few.
And last year in their playoff run, I mean, he made all the throws he needed to make. And
exactly.
So we saw that, when push comes to shove against good competition, you can't just expect to line up and run them, down the ball down their throats every single time. You're going to have to make plays in the passing game. We saw that from him last year. These are kind of those early season reps that you get that kind of momentum, the rhythm for those kind of late season plays those ones that you got to have, so to speak.
Right, and it's nothing. Again, and that's nothing against Andrean. They're fighting, they're competing, but Valpo's to answer the question. I think Valpo. I would like to see Clark kind of clean it up a little bit.
Back to the other sideline in Andrean. Drake Bowen's in South Bend right now. They have a lot of freshmen on their team. Do we see them potentially take the field for their first time in a varsity jersey, first time in high school tonight?
Well, I think we saw in their statistics from last week. I think we saw a few freshmen get some playing time for them last week. So I wouldn't be surprised if the coaching staff here, Coach Skinner and his guys, decide to trot some of those guys out. I mean, look, this team is very young. Only 11 of 22 guys are seniors, and most of those seniors are first-year starters themselves. So this team is lagging in experience, and I think not just for this year, but you want to build your program going forward as well. Those guys, those freshmen, they're going to be here the longest out of anybody that's here right now. So the more experience you can get them right now, the better you're going to be later, especially in games like this where you're playing a really, really good team.
Yeah.
And, a team that's senior-laden, and those reps that those kids are going to get are really hard to come by anywhere else.
Yeah, the majority of their roster, and this is not to skill, but by straight age, is a JV roster by freshmen and sophomores. So, this is nothing but going to, like we've said a few times, it's going to pay dividends down the road, and not just this year, but down the road in their career.
Exactly.
41-12 in favor of the Vikings, and we're underway in the second half. Micah Jones on the kickoff return. He has 4 of 20 yards or more. This one won't quite get there. Return of about 17, but a solid gain nonetheless. Andrean takes over at the 26, and they look to start the second half on the right note.
I think I like how he returns the football. He's gonna break some this year.
Oh no,
Valpo's going to pursue and tackle, but he might break one here tonight.
No, I mean he's been running really hard. I mean, I think he had the muff on the punt return, but I think he's trying to make up for that, and he's really, really playing hard.
He's a playmaker. He does things with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Andrean will remain with their first team to start half number 2. First down and 10. Hand off to Bowles. He broke a couple big ones in the first half. That one, not so much. Parker Gleason has just been a stopgap on the inside for Valparaiso, and it brings up second and long.
Yeah, running in between the tackles against Valpo is going to be tough sledding. But I like the way Bowles hit that hole. He hit it hard. And, you get a couple yards on first down. It's not ideal, but at least you're getting forward progress, forward momentum.
But you have to run that play to set up your passing game to pull up the secondary linebackers.
They flipped Finley. He's now on the far side of the field after being on the near side the majority of the first half. They go back to Bowles. Goes off tackle this time. He's swallowed up in the backfield. Ty Veen on the lead effort.
Ty Veen's been very active there in the middle for Valpo.
He's their sandbacker.
He's strong. He's tough.
And I talked about them being stout up the middle, but we said it before in this game. Their sideline-to-sideline pursuit is also very strong.
Third down and 10 for Andrean.
See, are they playing no safeties right now, or is it
basically?
So they're selling out. They're saying, "Go ahead and beat us long."
Hot potato to Jones, but he can't hit the corner. More great sideline-to-sideline play for the Valparaiso Vikings. Sam Ampeliotis running a mile and a half to make that tackle, and it brings up fourth down.
Yeah, he did a great job fighting off the block of Bowles there to make that play, stringing it out, and then keeping an outside shoulder free to get off that block. So really great play by them. This Valpo defense has just been really impressive. They've given up some big plays, but overall they've just been, Andrean's had nothing against them.
They really fly around.
Cusick had some trouble with the snap. He's able to get it away. Brashear fields it off the bounce. He's in trouble, and he runs to safety out of bounds. Brashear broke a big one that was called back by multiple flags the last time he had a chance. He could have spun around back to the field and done some magic there, but at this point you also just want to play it safe.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to try to do too much, try to, be Superman, so to speak, because usually if you try to do that, something bad's going to happen. So, I mean, Valpo, I think they just do a good job of that. They play within themselves. They don't try to do too much. They're very disciplined. They don't make mistakes. And that's why they're so hard to beat, because they're not really ever going to beat themselves. You have to go out there and beat them.
It's an interesting drive here for Valpo.
Interesting drive.
Berta's in.
And an interesting look for Valpo. They got backup quarterback Andrew Alcorn in at receiver. But they go to Berta like they've done a lot so far today. Gets right to the sticks and gets the line to gain first down, Valpo.
Picks up 10 and a Valpo first down.
Yeah, I mean, the Valpo run game, it's been really, really powerful all night long, and I don't expect that to change. They're getting whatever they want on the ground.
They averaged over 240 yards per game in their state championship run last year. They're hitting the nail on the head so far tonight. Clark to Berta. Has some space and a clutch shoestring tackle by Jaden Holmes. With anything, you could say it's a touchdown-saving tackle on how these tailbacks have been pushing forward.
I mean, the holes are massive. The Valpo backs are hitting them really hard, straight downhill, not dancing around at all. They're making it really tough on the Andrean defense.
Berta for the third time on this drive.
Berta on a carry.
And it's his second first down on the drive. One thing to note, clock stops on the first down. The clock will not stop if Valparaiso finds the end zone on this drive or if they get a stop and then a score. It's a 35-point deficit here in Indiana that we hit the running clock rule. It'll still stop on a score.
Real quick, I want to give some love here to the Valpo line. DeAndre Price, number 52, a junior, is really doing a great job right in the middle, sealing holes. You see him working to the whistle. See that one?
Right there.
No, I mean, no,
he's working. He's only a junior, guys. He's going to be tough.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him play on Saturdays in 2 years.
Yeah, he's tough, and that's just one guy. Those guys are.
No, their offensive line is huge
and
well coached and very physical, and I mean, the Andrean D-line is going to be sore tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Second down and 6 for the Vikings. Back to Berta, but this time he goes outside and it doesn't work.
Berta on the left side.
Good pursuit.
Tackled by number 16, Chase Nelson.
By Nelson on the play.
Great tackle.
Also one, third down.
Valpo just ran power there, and Andrean finally did a good job clogging up the hole, made Berta bounce it, and the pursuit there with a good shoestring tackle.
Yeah, if he doesn't get that tackle, he might be still running.
Yeah, exactly. But, the Valpo running backs have not had to bounce pretty much any run the entire game. They've been able to hit the play exactly where it's meant to go. So Andrean's got to keep making them bounce the play.
Chase Nelson, he's a young gun. Freshman. And another run up the middle. This time it's back to their bell cow, Travis Davis.
They got fourth and short.
They've been successful on fourth down. They're perfect so far.
Don't know huddle.
When they choose to go for it.
Under center.
That's the good old Philadelphia Eagles play we know and love, with a lot more behind it.
First down on the sneak.
Yeah, they have such a overwhelming advantage in the line there that it's, when you got a yard to go there, it's pretty much impossible to stop if you're Andrean.
It's the simplest play, too, for the offensive line.
Yep.
Just go forward.
Just go. Berta's back in.
No passes on this drive so far for the Vikings. They have no reason to. Alcorn's in motion. Berta to the far side, has some space, breaks a tackle,
nice
gets
cut.
right near the sticks.
Berta around the left side.
And Berta,
Close to the first down.
he's turned into a little bit of a shift back so far today. He started off going down the middle, but he's really hit those corners well.
And broke 2 tackles there. 8-yard gain. I mean, we talked about this. You know, he could be a starting running back basically on any other team in the area. He's that good. He's just behind a guy in Davis who's, you know, extremely good. So the Valpo coaching staff has to feel really good with their depth at running back.
Jaden Holmes there, the junior secondary from Andrean. He ran all the way. He covered a lot of ground to run him out of bounds. Great hustle there by the Andrean.
Clark keeps it this time around. Only his second keeper that's gotten a gain today. Gets the first down.
Down to the 5-yard line. Valpo first down.
Yeah, but the alley there, what we call in between the tackle and the receiver, you know, he pulled that ball and the alley was wide open. You know, it was a good job by Andrean to kind of pursue and keep him out of the end zone. But Doug talked about earlier that Clark was going to be able to pull one of those for a big gain, and we almost saw him take one into the touchdown there.
First down and goal for the Vikings. Berta goes right down the middle, and he's just short of the goal line.
Dumas on the stop.
This is where they like to go hurry up. Don't let the defense get set or sub. Oh, they're calling a timeout. Wrong again.
Timeout Valparaiso.
And this is an interesting decision by the Valparaiso Brain Trust on the 2-yard line, knocking on the goal line to take a timeout. What are your thoughts on that decision?
Well, I think you kind of got almost anything in the playbook you want here. You could do play action. You could just hand the ball to Bird or Thomas Davis, whoever. You could do a Clark keep. I mean, the one thing about the Valpo offense right now, they're getting pretty much anything they want. Maybe this is a time for the Valpo coaching staff to take a play that they want to be able to execute, you know, and put it on film here and actually get some game reps for their team. You know, everybody kind of has 2-point plays. You're kind of in that range right here. So maybe you try to work on a play that you haven't actually had an opportunity to use yet and actually see, you know, how can we execute it in game action.
I like that, and you know, again, they have so many plays that are open to them with all their weapons. They can the little jet sweep like they did before. You know, they can. The playbook's wide open here.
Second down and goal from the 2-yard line. Still taking their time. It's probably the slowest they've gone in terms of getting on the line.
They're under center.
Also looks like Clark is out of the game.
Did he fumble, or is that false start? That
false
might be
start.
A false start. Offsides.
Gonna inch him even closer here.
It's a neutral zone infraction, right? I mean, they're trying to get in there. They're playing with pride. They're trying to get a stop here.
They're trying to, you know, Andrean, I think they're playing hard. It's just sometimes you're physically outmatched, and there's nothing really you can do about that. I don't think he
Who
got
is that?
it.
That's
number 7.
That's Alcorn, the backup quarterback, into the end zone.
Oh, he did get it.
That must be like a second effort.
Man,
he didn't get it right away.
He got stuffed him originally, but kept the legs driving.
Now there's your running clock.
Got to pick everybody up off the pile. It's Alcorn's first on the season. Got to feel good to get that monkey off his back. 47-12 in favor of Valparaiso, and like you said, that means the running clock commences.
I like Valpo getting Clark out of there for that. You know, you saw him convert on a QB sneak a little bit before, but you're in there close to the end zone. You don't want anything, you know, wild and catastrophic to happen to him. So I like getting him out of there, giving the backup a chance to get in the end zone too, reward him for his hard work. So
and you've played, you know, the bottom of that pile. You don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah, no, it could be, you know, if there's a fumble, there's all sorts of things that can happen. You don't want to, you know, get an injury. You don't want to get an injury to anybody, obviously, but let alone to a key player. So
clock will stop on the touchdown. We'll step aside. You are listening to the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Growing up in Northwest Indiana, I am proud that my family's been doing business here for nearly 100 years, which started with my grandfather, John Gladish. Over my career, I've witnessed families being torn apart by the negligence of others, and everything from unguarded openings at construction sites to reckless driving on our roads. Our experienced attorneys, paralegals, and staff know that insurance companies and their lawyers will go to great lengths to avoid paying compensation. Do not waste your one and only opportunity to seek fair compensation for your loss. Give the Gladish Law Group a call and put our team to work for you.
If you work with industrial, pneumatics, or hydraulics, and you're in need of maintenance or repair, you need the right connection. For over 20 years, Hose Connections in Hammond has been the premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop for sales and service of pneumatics and hydraulics. Hose Connections continues to grow their network of industry contacts, which allows them to meet even your toughest expectations. To learn more, visit HoseConnectionsInc.com. Hose Connections in Hammond. Proven under pressure.
48-12 in favor of the Valparaiso
There he
Vikings,
goes.
and that's going to change.
What
Only
do we
one
say?
man to beat.
yeah.
Doug, you called it.
Hey. Oh, we got a late flag here.
Oh man, I hope this doesn't come back.
That's a sideline warning.
I think
that's
so.
just got to be
yeah.
a sideline warning.
It's great for Jones because he had the bobble on the punts. He's been we talked about it before. Doug called it literally. He's been running so hard on these returns, and I mean right there that was extremely impressive because he outran everybody.
That's big time, man.
I mean the kicker had a great angle on him too. The kicker looked like he was maybe going to be able to stop him, but he just put the jets on, and good for that kid.
Yeah, that was, again, I just like how hard he runs, and he hits holes, and you see some returners kind of pitter-patter, right? He's hitting the hole.
There was no hesitancy.
That could be a play of the game
It's a
possibility.
candidate.
Micah Jones to the house from inside his own 20. 80-plus yards, bringing it all the way home. That's his, losing track, but I believe his 5th KOR of 20 yards or more. And that one belongs in a stat category of its own.
That was tough.
Some confusion on the Andrean end in terms of their personnel for the try.
We talked about Andrean and execution in the second half, you know, not just on offense, but also on their special teams. I think their special teams actually, other than the punt, and, you know, they get another block right there, other than their return game has been pretty good. And I think that's one thing that their coaching staff can put on film this week and be like, hey, this is one thing that we executed really well against a good opponent, and we need to keep doing this. And, you know, every guy on here, you need to watch what you did here because you were doing it right, you know, so keep doing this.
That's what we mentioned. Those are the details.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach knows. He's been there. Those are the details that could win you a regional, right, or lose you a regional.
Back to a 30-point deficit. Each team has scored once here in half number 2. Valpo on the Andrew Alcorn 2-yard sneak, and then the magic from Micah Jones on that kickoff return just to play after.
Andrean's got playmakers, and they're going to be fine in 2A at the 2A level, and they're going to compete in their conference. But again, to play against Maryville and Valpo, what great film to have.
It's trial by fire. You know, I think Coach Skinner the past few years, the first 3 games of the season the past 3 years have all been against 6A competition, 5-6A competition. It's almost like he's shocking the roster, almost, by putting these really good teams front-loaded on the schedule. It really makes the team wake up and be prepared for the rest of the season to come.
And a lot of times, too, is when you sign these contracts, it's a 2 or 3 year deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like next year when they play Valpo at Valpo, their guys will be a year older. And Valpo will be turning over at that point, So it all works in cycles.
Exactly, and they'll
down the road.
have more experience playing a game against a team like a Valpo with that sort of physical dominance to them, really.
Mm-hmm.
Valpo return unit is going to press up here. And they're actually
a little offside.
moving people back.
I think this might be the sideline warning.
The sideline warning enforced on the kickoff.
Well, actually, I mean, usually it's just a warning first, and you don't get the penalty until you get the second one. So
Right.
this could be something else, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe we just missed it.
Cusick will kick off for the Niners.
But he is kicking off at his own 25, so Valpo is going to have a chance to get some pretty good field position here, I would think.
Bradney and Stokes are back, along with McKenzie for Valpo.
Another directional kick. Oh, boy.
And McKenzie, you got to field the kickoff. Turns it back up towards the middle. Has nowhere to go. Mitchell Myers, the freshman, on the stop.
Good hit.
And great kickoff return coverage after the great kickoff return. Coach has got to be proud of the special teams unit play so far in the second half.
Well, they're competing. You know, they're trying. They're giving effort, and as a coach, that's what you can ask for.
Exactly. They're not rolling over. And these young guys for Andrean, they're not wasting the game reps that they're getting right now. I think that's a big thing. You don't want to waste any of these valuable game reps. Even if the game itself might be a little bit out of reach, you don't want to waste actually getting this valuable experience.
Alcorn. Handoff.
Whoa.
Still scampering. Lots of room. Finally dragged down at the 40-yard line. Gage Finley.
Gage Finley on the carry for the Vikings.
His first carry on the evening. And this Valpo running back room, you're going to need a conference room for those team meetings.
I mean, that was a great run. I mean, showed some explosiveness, showed some power, breaking some tackles. I mean, he's on the roster there. He says he's a sophomore, so you got Berta as a junior, Davis as a senior. Every class, it seems like they've got a guy ready to go.
He dropped his shoulder there. He talk about yard after contact again.
Fresh set of downs. Flag on the play. False start against Valparaiso.
Flag on the play.
I believe the clock's supposed to continue to run.
The clock continues to run despite the response from Andrean. It's once it hits that 35 mark, you can't go back. First down and 15 for the Vikings, just north of midfield. Alcorn.
Uh-oh.
Hot potato still
Oh,
there.
boy.
And incomplete. Breathing a sigh of relief is Max Marek for Valparaiso. Hit off of his hands, and then some hot potato action from the Andrean 59ers. They had 4 or 5 bodies in the area, and no one was able to come up with the rock.
Actually, number 42, Ethan Reyna, a freshman, was the one who had his hand on the ball there, and that's what we're talking about here. Freshman getting playing time here for Andrean. Maybe when he's a little bit older, he'll be able to reel that one in.
Yeah, he'll run that one back to the house. That was right there.
Alcorn tries Finley again. This time, it's unsuccessful.
3rd and long.
Luke Donspach on the stop. Brings up 3rd down and long. It's mostly the second unit for Valparaiso.
I'll make it 3rd down and 15.
In the waning moments of quarter number 3 here in Maryville, Indiana.
And Andrean's got a lot of their ones in still. You know, that's what I'm saying. They're getting reps against dudes, and you just can't reenact this in practice. So I would go keep them in there as long as we can.
7 to snap. Alcorn immediately rolls. Thinks about taking himself, throws, and that one's almost picked off, but threads the needle. Pass complete for a solid gain.
How that was not picked off, I don't know. I thought it was
Logan
I thought he
Prunzak
had it.
on the catch.
That looked like one of those Madden glitches where it goes through a guy's body
right
or
through
something.
his hand.
Holmes almost had it there. And the clock hits 000s. To the final frame we go. Each team with a touchdown in quarter number 3. Valpo leads 48-18 here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Develop skills that will last for a lifetime with an apprenticeship with the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers Local 4, Indiana, Kentucky. The apprenticeship and training program is committed to developing highly skilled bricklayers, terrazzo workers, and ceramic tile setters to provide the construction industry with the best hands in the business. If you are currently working non-union and want better pay with benefits, or if you think learning a new skill with a paid apprenticeship while you earn your associate's degree is the right path for you, visit baclocal4.org/training to learn more about the apprenticeship program. Are you built to succeed?
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
It's game night in the region, presented by Von Tobel. Start of quarter number 4, Valparaiso with a commanding 48-18 lead over Andrean. I'm Matt Sossler alongside Rick Novak and Doug Nelson. Valparaiso has the football as they look to eclipse 50 points here this evening. They start with 4th down and 1, and they keep the offense on. Hand off the middle to Berta, and he moves the sticks. Berta back in the game after some quality rest, and he's able to move the chains.
About 5 yards.
Yeah, Andrean still got the #1 defense out there, it looks like. Valpo looks like they're basically all number 2s.
If not deeper.
Yeah, could potentially.
They've got, well, like you said, they got 90 to 100 people here today.
Oh, yeah, they've got, I mean, they're Ross. They've got double the amount of guys Andrean has easily.
Alcorn's the quarterback. Hands off to Gage Finley. Breaks 1, breaks 2.
Finley on the carry.
Before he's dragged down in the teeth of the defense by Elijah Jackson.
Your guy like Finley to be able to be in the same, like you said, the same backfield practices with Berta and Davis. I mean, you're just learning every second. You're just like a sponge in there, you know.
And he's running really hard himself.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a solid right back.
He was hit basically at the line of scrimmage there, kept his feet driving for 6 yards. So I mean, it just goes. I mean, this is a run-first offense, so they're just, in their running back room, they're just churning them out.
2nd down and 5 for the Vikings. Finley again, this time goes around. Turns on the Jets and moves the sticks.
Showing the speed there, getting the edge. There was some Andrean defensive linemen that kind of got some penetration there, but he just ran straight around them. They were not nearly quick enough to get him.
Again, I like to see the offensive line guys working. 66, I think it was Blake Wall had his guy like to the end zone. He was chasing him down like the Blind Side, the movie there.
To the bus.
Yeah,
Time
to
for
the
him
bus.
to go home.
Time for him to go home.
1st down and 10 for Valpo. A team that looks to even their record to 500 as Finley gets stood up right near the line to gain. But the one thing, like you said, about these Valpo tailbacks is their yak is probably the highest in the region, if not the state right now.
Yeah, they're doing a great job just keeping those legs churning, finishing runs, falling forward, hitting the hole exceptionally hard. There's no dancing around in the backfield. They know where the play is designed to go, and the offensive line is executing, and they're doing their job too. So they've been super impressive tonight. Anything they've wanted on the ground, they've gotten.
And you see Andrean guys running in and out, and we talked about it earlier. This is attrition right now. These guys are tired.
High snap direct to Finley, goes right down the middle into the end zone. Touchdown Valparaiso. They're north of 50.
Valparaiso touchdown.
Yeah, busted play, but Finley, a little bit of a magic trick right there.
Is that intentional?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But I mean, I think the play was designed to go to him. I don't think it was supposed to be a direct snap, but it didn't really matter. The offensive line drove everybody back, and he was able to bounce it down to the outside and finish the run.
I think it's unsportsmanlike contact flag on the sideline of Andrean here real quick. He, assistant coach here, thought he saw a holding call.
Looks like they'll enforce that on the ensuing kickoff.
Could be some frustration.
A little bit.
Extra point from Fonder, who's missed a couple already today. Credit to the Andrean special teams front. But this one might reach the school before it lands.
Point after touchdown is good. That makes the score
55-18 in favor of the Valparaiso Vikings over Andrean. You are watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
To traditional or unique, the caring family at Burns Funeral Home will tailor a ceremony to fit your needs. And for your other loved ones, Burns Funeral now has a pet cemetery and crematory. Visit burnsfuneral.com or give them a call at 219-942-1117. Welcome to Public Bar and Rec, located in downtown Crown Point, a place for good games, good drinks, and good food. So come in and make it public. Try to survive zombie dodgeball, score a hole-in-one playing golf, or choose from over 13 multi-sport simulator games while fueling your competition with a variety of appetizers, entrees, and beverages. We have games for all ages with our family-friendly hours till 9 p.m. Reserve your simulator at publicbarandrec.com and let the fun begin.
55-18 your score with 7.5 minutes left to go in the ball game. Valparaiso against Andrean. Some confusion on where the football should be spotted following an unsportsmanlike penalty. And then, like you said, Doug, with a lot of new guys on the field at this point in time, there's a lot of figuring out to do.
Yeah.
Micah Jones ran the last kickoff back. This one will be a little bit harder, and he's not even going to get a chance. A touchback, a rarity. But given the penalty yards, almost a given at that point.
You wonder down the road who's going to kick the ball to him. You know?
I mean, no, he's
that good.
No, every time he had the ball in his hands on a KOR, there was a chance that he was able to break, like he was going to break one, and we finally saw him do it there at the end. So he's going to be a weapon for them, I think, throughout the year on any of those kickoff returns, those punt returns. And I'm sure they're going to end up using him more on the offense with his speed.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you got to know where he's at all the time.
Exactly.
Matt Sossler alongside former Andrean offensive lineman Rick Novak and Doug Nelson. In the waning stages of this contest, week 2 of the Indiana high school football season. If the score holds, Valparaiso will improve to 1-1. As Ballantyne.
Ooh.
Solid pass to Urbaniak. He keeps on rolling before going out of bounds at the 35. Good for the first down. Ushered out by Jacob Moore, who had a pick 6 earlier today.
Again, you're working on stuff. 2-minute drill, 3-minute drills. Do something here. Might go no huddle. Hurry up.
As for Andrean, they'll drop to 0-2, but it's really not 0-2 when you think about it, considering they had Maryville last week. You have Valpo this week. So in terms of the state picture, the conference picture, the 2 in the loss column doesn't really mean much. Ballantyne is able to hit Jones for a first down. Back-to-back completions for Ballantyne, and they're moving the ball here on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's non-conference, and this is why they schedule these type of teams in their non-conference. They want to play the best teams that they can to prepare them for a deep run and to prepare them for conference. Valpo is obviously very good. No, I mean, this is an iron sharpens iron philosophy here for Andrean, and it's been, it's hard to argue with the results that they've gotten from it. So, yeah, it's a long season, and it's just getting started.
And when we talked to coaches at the preseason party, nice shot, nice try.
He was open.
But every week they're 0-0. every week's a new week, like you said. Every week's going to be a different team, a different matchup. So the only game that really matters, like you've mentioned, is the last game.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
The records mean nothing. Everybody advances. Everybody gets a chance in the tournament. Until you get into conference play. But
no, I mean, let's not. Obviously you want to win every game you play.
Sure.
It's not. We're not saying that it's that Andrean's just going to go home and be happy that they got blown out tonight. But you want to win every game you play. But bigger picture, I think what Coach Skinner understands is, this is going to get us better for where we want to be at the end.
Yep. And they'll find some good things tonight and find plenty of things they need to work on. Same thing for Valpo.
That hot potato action, back-to-back incompletions from Ballantyne to Urbaniak, both off the fingertips.
Sometimes when you're going over the middle like that as a receiver, you could be kind of bracing for that hit that is coming, and you take your mind off of actually getting the catch in, and I think that's kind of what he was thinking. He was like, I'm about to take a lick, and he didn't complete the catch.
To hear some footsteps and get those alligator hands a little bit, like, oops, I dropped it.
Dumas in motion. Ballantyne takes it himself and slides for the first down. Ballantyne had a rushing touchdown last week against Maryville. He has the legs. We haven't seen it a whole lot today.
No, he's surprisingly mobile. I mean, he's generally a guy that likes to stay in the pocket, but he is surprisingly mobile. Good pocket awareness there. Kind of opened up right in the middle of the field, able to get the first down and then slide down before you take any sort of contact.
You think that was a set run?
No, I don't think. I think that was a pass, and it just kind of he took what
your internal clock's running, right? And then you got 1,000, 2,000.
I think he had a lot of green grass right in front of them in the middle, so I think that's what he was looking at, maybe.
Yeah.
Looks like this could be a false start.
Please.
Yep.
I don't think they understand the idea of a running clock.
We are at a running clock
well,
with
we got a guy
score.
who's never done it on the game, so we'll cut him some slack.
Okay.
Beyond 35 points between the two, so the clock keeps on going unless it's a touchdown or anything unusual.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing unusual.
Don't jinx it.
I've jinxed a couple of, not clocks, but in baseball, say, this game's moving pretty fast. You get another whistle. Clock still runs, though. I was doing.
Did you do like a no-hitter jinx or something?
No, it wasn't a no-hitter jinx. It was a time jinx. We're in the 7th inning, and
you said, "Man, this game's flying by."
Mid-inning break, I say to our camera operator who's sitting right next to me, "We're at about 2 hours right now." I said, "You might get out of here on time." He had somewhere to be, and I said, "You get to your event." It's right before the top of the 7th. First batter in that frame. Breaking ball in the dirt, tips the bat, hits the catcher, and then hits the umpire. Let's just say both of them were down for a while. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And we had a lengthy delay.
Oh, no.
And it wound up being about a 3.5 to 4 hour time between first pitch and final out. So I'll keep my mouth shut regarding that running clock.
Yeah, I think
it's incomplete, just short.
What is it? At that point, you got to go out, turn around 3 times, spit up in the air, find a chicken, something.
Knock on wood.
There you go.
Do something to try to reset that.
Yeah, we got to do something. So you just don't do that ever.
I never have done it again. You never jinx it whenever.
You're jinxing it right now.
We'll see what.
You're doing the rejinx.
In a minute 47, I honestly think
it's a long season, man.
I gotta buy a lottery ticket if something unusual happens in the next minute 40 seconds.
You're just trying to jinx it.
I mean, not to get off the jokes, but looking forward for both of these teams. Valpo has LaPorte next week, and Andrean has Kankakee Valley starting conference play. So both these teams, almost a pick. Both these teams. Quick turnaround into the games that really start obviously every game matters, but the games for conference, you want to put that conference trophy up in your trophy case. So next week that starts.
Yeah, I mean it starts with game 1. In both of those conferences are very good football conferences. Northwest Crossroads is very good with Lowell and Hobart, and like you mentioned, Andrean.
Hanover Central now.
Hanover's very good.
Brady Ellis is in the game now for Andrean, the backup quarterback, getting some opportunity. Finds Jones. He's ushered out of bounds just north of the 50.
Quarterback for the 59ers is number 4.
Scotty Bladney's getting some reps on the defensive side of the ball this time around.
But there's no weeks off in either conference.
No.
Right? Yeah, I know. KV is a team that's trying to get back up there. Kirk Kennedy's down there doing a great job.
I was going to say they have a very good coach.
Yeah, doing a great job trying to get those guys back where they want to be. But you can't sleep on anybody.
No, there's no days off, no weeks off in either of those conferences. Especially the Duneland, especially. Valpo. And we kind of mentioned this before. All those Duneland teams are going to end up probably seeing each other in the playoffs too. So that's another whole layer of that.
3 seconds, 2 and counting. The lights are shining on the Valparaiso sideline. They shine on the field with their run game and their pass game. They defeat Andrean 55-18. We'll be back to wrap up the broadcast, dissect the game, and hand out our superlatives here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Centrally located in downtown Indianapolis, the Hampton Inn is just steps away from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Situated at 105 South Meridian Street, shopping, restaurants, entertainment, and many Indianapolis attractions are in near proximity. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a gym fitness center. For reservations, the number is 317-261-1200. The website is hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Used vehicle at a reasonable price in the Valparaiso area? Then check out Valpo Car Company, a family-owned dealership since 2009. Recently given an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Valpo Car Company finances all types of credit. Stop in and see the owner, Nick Mandich, a 2002 Valparaiso High School graduate, at their dealership at 150 East US Highway 6 in Valpo. You always could check out their website at www.valpocarco.com, where you can easily find the used car you want in seconds. Valpo Car Company, we could help you get into the ride you want.
Final from Andrean, 55-18 in favor of the Valparaiso Vikings here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town built by Von Tobel. I'm Matt Sossler alongside Rick Novak and Doug Nelson. A dominant win for the Valparaiso Vikings. We have a lot of awards to give out, but before we go into that, what are your final reactions on this contest?
Well, obviously, Valpo came in here and did, I think, what a lot of people thought they would do. They were physically dominant. They used their size. They pushed Andrean around. On defense, they really controlled the Andrean offense. Really, they had nothing going all night. And they really just dominated the game in every facet. Andrean, I mean, positives. At one point in this game, they looked like they would be able to get some momentum and actually maybe, get into the game. And they had some mistakes. But when you're playing a team this good as Valpo is, even this early in the season, even that kind of bright spot, is very good and very important for a coaching staff to kind of glean from a game like this to where how can we build off that? How can we take the things that we did do well in this game and the opportunities that we did have, how can we capitalize on those going forward and not lose any sort of momentum, any opportunities that we get in games, further on in the season.
And again, we're getting into conference play.
Yeah.
You gotta be like a goldfish. You got, like they say, you gotta have a short memory and move on right now. And the focus is now KV and LaPorte. You gotta start game planning and clean some things up and move forward. You can't dwell on anything tonight. But I think like you said, the Valpo coaching staff's got to be happy, but not really happy. I still think there's a lot of things that they need to clean up as the reigning state champion. And then, as you said, Andrean's got a lot of things that they could build on tonight. There are a lot of things that they can work on, but there was a lot of bright spots.
Time for our awards. The Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Lantern Man Superhero. They have offices open from 9 to 7, Monday through Friday. Start again. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies have offices open from 9 to 7, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays until 2 in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. Doug, you've had the pen. Who is our Lantern Man Superhero of the game?
That's got to go to Valpo senior running back Travis Davis. We've talked about they've got a ton of weapons, but he had a huge night tonight. 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards, hit holes. His yards after contact was huge all night, and he's going to have a nice season as long as he stays healthy. So that's our choice for tonight.
Davis, 3 scores, was dominant out of the gate, had the most yards after contact today. Just seemed like a bowling ball all night long. Again, the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies are the insurance superheroes. Up next, we will name the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Who do we got?
We have, again, Andrean senior Micah Jones had the kickoff return, and just before that, as we talked about, he was close to breaking more. Just hit holes hard, and he's a playmaker, and the other team's going to have to know where he's at all year, moving forward.
Again, that's the local 374, Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. We saw a lot of big plays. We saw the Micah Jones kickoff return. We saw a great catch by Jimmy Finley. We saw a lot of touchdowns, 55-18. That's going to get you a lot of big plays, but we can only name one, the Proud Union Home Play of the Game. A lot of finalists, but who's our winner?
In the second quarter there, Valentine to Jimmy Finley over here in the end zone, that little tap and ball up in the air, and Finley made a play. And then that's hard to coach. That's just playmakers making plays. So that's our choice for play of the game, and that's a combination we're going to be saying a lot this year, I think.
That's the Proud Union Home Play of the Game, presented by IKORCC, the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters. Build your future. Got a few more. A lot of plays that were unsung, a lot of tackles made. The Blue Collar Player of the Game. Already said that. Time to move on to the Proud Union. I've already done that. Let's get to the credits, but first, final thoughts.
Still early in the season. Two teams that are kind of in a different spot. We got one team in Valpo. They're trying to win now. This is a year for them to, capitalize on a lot of talent that returned from a team that did win last year, but let's not act like they just blew through everybody last year. They won sectionals over Chesterton by a touchdown, regional over Maryville by a point, semi-state over Snyder by a point. They won state over Whiteland by 4 points on the last-second touchdown. It was very hard for them to win. It's going to be hard for them to get back there again. They need to keep getting better, keep working on themselves, and just keep staying focused. We talked about how last week at Penn it might have been a good thing that they lost to kind of refocus and get that kind of chip back on their shoulder. And for Andrean, I think, Doug, you talked about this earlier, they're still going to be good in 2A this year. And I think playing these 5A schools, playing in their conference, it really primes them for those deep playoff runs. So I think that they just don't get down on being 0-2. They're 0-2. They kind of got walloped in both games, but hey, it's a long season, and all that matters, if they're down at Lucas Oil Stadium playing in Thanksgiving weekend, they're not going to care that they got blown out tonight, and that's for sure.
I think you have two programs that expect to win. They're proud programs. They're used to winning, and they'll get there. Like we said, the season's a marathon, and this is just a bump in the road for both teams, and it's just some film at this point. Everybody stay healthy, and on to week 3, in week 1 in conference play.
Final score, Valparaiso 55-18 over Andrean. Before we say goodnight, Want to give some special thanks, starting off with the management of the Region Sports Network, executive producer Chris Ramirez, operations manager Rich Castillo, our coordinating producer Claude Martinez, and our sports director Jack Thiel. Our producers for today's broadcast, Zach Miller and Scott Stessel. Also a special thanks to our coaches from Valparaiso, Bill Marshall, and here at Andrean, Chris Skinner, the athletic directors, Stacy Adams from Valparaiso, and Neil Dimos from Andrean, and all of you viewing and tuning in wherever you may be. Keep it here, because after the game, join Mike Zimja and Jack Thiel from the Centier Bank Studio. They'll bring you all the scores and highlights from games around the region, all from the Centier Bank Studio. For Doug Nelson and Rick Novak, I'm Matt Sosler. Your final from Andrean, 55-18 in favor of the Valparaiso Vikings. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. You are watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.